They call him the best bit machine. Please welcome Mr. Christopher Schmidt!
Thank you. AJ always adds a little bit more in nickname every time he introduces me. That's great. Hey, everybody, put your hands together if you make some noise when you give it up. Where are my telepaths at? We got any telepaths in the room? Think some noise. Alright. I was going to come up here and do a bunch of prepared material, but then I thought that'd be a little boring and I'd do something different. So what I want to do is try to write on stage. Okay, so I'm going to write on stage. Could you all please not look at me while I do this? It makes it a little tricky. Okay, hey, how'd I do? Mission accomplished. I'm going to be honest with you, that was actually prepared material. This is marker, and this is pen. I did something a little scary recently. I said I love you for the first time to my uncle. Because I was trying to make my dad jealous. And, it didn't work. He's still playing hard to get. But my aunt is pretty upset because he said it back, you know. Now my uncle is blowing up my DMs. It's a problem. It's a real problem. I am an uncle myself, actually. I have a nephew. I love him a lot. He comes to visit me sometimes. And he's at that age where he's starting to ask a lot of questions about the human body. So I think I'm going to have to drag it out of the crawl space and bury it behind the shed. Look, that one is, it's just a joke. I don't have a nephew. But I do have a face that screams serial killer. Or at least it would if I hadn't stuffed a rag in its mouth. You got any serial killers in the room tonight? Alright, we're in Milwaukee. I knew there had to be at least one. That's how we are. It's, you know what's kind of sad about serial killers is a lot of times they could predict the behavior and stop them. You know, like John Wayne Gacy. His elementary school counselor knew he was going to grow up to be a serial killing clown because he had a history of harming small balloon animals. Alright, look, let's not tighten up on this. I like to make jokes. I like making jokes about sociopaths because it's the one disability group you can make fun of without having to worry about hurting their feelings. Because they don't have any. You know, if you offend a sociopath, all you did was cure a sociopath. Which is pretty much the cruelest thing you could do to a sociopath, right? Who needs a conscience? Alright, that got a little dark. Let's try something else. I've been having a hard time writing new jokes lately. So I turned to my Ouija board. I wrote some jokes with my Ouija board. Would you guys like to hear what I produced? With my Parker Brothers Ouija board? Okay, let's see if this is good. Let's see if this is any good. This is new to me too, so let's find out. Alright, here we go. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Maya.
Maya who?
My soul is stuck in purgatory. Please help me. How much I like that. But let's press ahead. Maybe this one will be better. Okay. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Saul.
Saul who?
Solve my murder if you ever want your lights to stop flickering. You know what? It's all knock-knock jokes. This has been a real letdown. That is the last time I am ever going to work with a ghostwriter. I will sign that after the show. Thought I'd do something a little spooky because Halloween's right around the corner. Are we excited for Halloween? Absolutely. You're wearing a skeleton shirt. You're absolutely excited. I'm having to grow out my facial hair this year because I already crammed all my razors into snack-sized Snickers bars. Alright, look, those of you groaning at that, you haven't met the kids in my neighborhood. Okay? I'm doing the right thing, I promise you. Also, I want you to appreciate my commitment because I had to grow out this hair to tell that joke. And also I had to travel back in time to October to tell that joke. Because in April of my timeline, it's not doing anything anymore. I'm a big music fan. My favorite guitar player is Jimi Hendrix. He was great. They say Jimi Hendrix was so good at guitar that he could play in his sleep. It's too bad he wasn't that good at throwing up.
No.
It's okay. It's okay. That is the joke that got me banned from the Hard Rock Cafe. Now I'm trying to write one that gets me out of the Rainforest Cafe as well. Got goals. Got goals. I hope I don't look a little disappointed still. I had a big setback recently. I had tickets to a concert I was really excited about. Check out this bill. It was going to be Kanye West, Seal, and Mariah Carey. One show. Best concert ever, right? Then it got canceled at the last minute because the promoter never bothered to get a concealed carry permit. I win because none of you get to ever unhear that one. I did that to you tonight. Incidentally, does anyone have a concealed carry permit? Now would be the time to use it. Takes a good audience member with a gun to stop a bad comic with a pun. My grandfather just got on Spotify, and that's been a disaster. He asked me if I ever listened to the Black Keys. I was like, Grandpa, her name is Alicia. Don't worry. We pulled the plug on his internet connection. Beatles fans? We got Beatles fans here?
Yeah.
There's more than that. Everyone's like, I'm too counterculture for the Beatles, man. No, Beatles are great. Did anyone hear about this interview Paul McCartney just did with GQ? They asked him to tell some heretofore untold Beatles stories, and he told them about the time he jerked off with John Lennon. You know, it's sad that even Sir Paul McCartney thinks he needs to use sex to sell now, right? They didn't say when it happened exactly, but I'm guessing probably around the time they stopped performing I Want to Hold Your Hand. I think it's kind of an unfair double standard because Paul McCartney jerks off with John Lennon and it's this charming magazine story. But I jerk off with John Lennon and I'm not allowed to visit his grave anymore. Was that one too far? Was that Hendrix? A lot of people forge their identities through the part of their life in which they're the most marginalized. So I've come to identify as a professional wrestling fan. Are there any more of my people here tonight? Am I alone? It's a lonely life. It's a solitary life. People make us feel like dummies about it all the time. People are always saying to me, well, you know wrestling's fake, right? You realize they help each other do those moves, don't you? Yeah, of course I know that. I'm not an idiot. I just think it's really cool to see two grown men cooperating. You know? If Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man Randy Savage can learn to work together, why can't the rest of us? My father actually got me into wrestling. We used to watch it together a lot when I was a kid. And sometimes he would let me choreograph my own beatings. I see some of you wincing. Don't you dare feel sorry for me. Don't you dare. It's actually really cool. How many kids get to say they've been spanked with a folding chair? to the head in a steel cage at the terrible report card rumble. And you know what? I know my father really loves me, because even after I lost, he would still give me the belt. That's pretty amazing. Is everyone drinking tonight? Are we enjoying these delightful sugar maple beers? They're all like 50%. I've had a sip and I'm hammered already. It's way too much. Anyone ever get so drunk you end up on a cover band's mailing list? How does that happen? You're like, did I think that was the real Rolling Stones? I can't remember. Cover bands, it's a weird form of entertainment, you know? It's like, it's cool seeing them up there having fun. It's also kind of sad because their dreams are dying right in front of your eyes. Don't ever learn to play guitar to perform Maroon 5 songs in a sports bar. Okay, it's live music, but it's no reason to live. It's just all the guys who work at the music store doing cosplay. I have a favorite cover band. They're local. They're called Separate Ways. They build themselves as Milwaukee's premier Journey tribute act. What a title, right? Kind of begs the question, just Milwaukee's and not even Wisconsin's? What happened? Did you guys take city and lose state? If you win nationals, are you just Journey now? I saw them at the state fair, and one of my all-time favorite concert moments was when the singer dedicated Don't Stop Believing to his stepson. Which I love because he called him his stepson. And also, now I have to picture this poor kid growing up and having a fake Steve Perry for a stepdad. How brutal would that be? Trying to get to second base for the first time and you hear fake Steve Perry doing vocal warm-ups in the shower. You gotta admit to yourself your mom's attracted to a guy that wears a dangly earring to work. 16 years old, you got a fake Steve Perry setting your curfew every night. Hey, you listen here. I want you home by the time the lights go down in the city. You're not my real Journey. Actually, I hope we don't have anyone who's in a cover band here tonight. I should have checked that ahead of time. If so, I apologize. Don't take it personal. Sometimes they do. Sensitive cover band guys can be sensitive. One time after a show, I saw this guy coming at me angry, you know? And I was like, which one is it going to be? There's so many it could be. And he's like, hey, funny man. Hey, joke boy. You want to hear a joke? I got a joke for you. You want to hear a joke? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I love jokes. What do you got? And he was like, hey, funny man, check this out. I'm in a cover band. I was like, can I use that? He's like, what do you know about my lifestyle? What do you know about my life? How would you feel if we got up on stage and we performed a song about how sad comedians are? And I was like, well, you'd be welcome to do that, but first, wouldn't someone else have to write and record it? You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much.